Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. It's not going to rain. If it does, when the sun breaks through, I was in charge of weather, and when it starts to rain, it was Charles Burke's fault. So, welcome, everyone. My name is Ted Everingham. I have the privilege of being the chairman of the board of the Grosse Pointe War Memorial Association, and I have the larger privilege of welcoming you here to this special place, to welcome you to our community salutes. It is indeed a special time in a special place to honor some very, very special people. We'll begin appropriately enough with a presentation of our colors by the Chandler Park Academy Junior ROTC Color Guard. Please stand as you're able and remain standing for the national anthem, the invocation, and the Pledge of Allegiance. Color Guard, present the colors. Ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem will be led tonight by Jack Williams III from the University of Michigan School of Music.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
I'll now ask Reverend Peter Henry to offer the invocation. Reverend Henry is the senior pastor at Grosse Pointe Memorial Church, just next door here. He's also the chaplain of our board of directors here at the War Memorial. Reverend Henry.
You'll please join me in a spirit of prayer. Let us pray. O Holy One, anthems play and hearts swell and pride rises. It's a beautiful day. It's a sacred day. For it is a day in which lives are offered in service to others. Hearts kneel in homage to a shared vision for the common good. For youth offered on behalf of all ages. For families whose hearts go with their recruits. For the men and women of our community who stand at the ready for us, we ask your blessing upon them. Look with favor upon their willing spirits and strong bodies and hold them fast, even as we hold them in our hearts. In all and through all, may we each keep company with gratitude, muster in us a sense of sacred debt, and enlist us in the service of thanksgiving. May we all know ourselves to be a branch of the spirit of service that binds us together and keeps us strong. Let our lives be a salute to all who share of themselves. For your spirit that makes it so tonight, we pray that it would be so for us every night. Amen.
Thank you, sir. Our Pledge of Allegiance will be led by Colonel Ralph Mammon. The Colonel serves on the War Memorial Board of Directors with us, and he's also our treasurer. Colonel?
All right, for everybody to follow along, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Charles Burke, you may be seated. Charles Burke is only the third president and CEO of this institution, which has been in existence since the late 1940s. He came to us 4 years and a couple of months ago after serving as Senior Director of Education for the Detroit Symphony Orchestra, where he also held some other leadership roles for a number of years. But he quickly embraced his role here as an innovative leader, as a creative thinker, one who has led us tirelessly. He's kept all of us who serve on the board of directors, as well as the staff and our community, laser focused on our core mission, our role as a patriotic, cultural, and community leader. To welcome you formally to our Community Salutes 2018, here's President and CEO Charles Burke.
Thank you, Ted. Good evening, everyone. Now, I know we can do better than that. Good evening, everyone. This is an evening of celebration, and we need to hear that celebration in your voices. I'm going to go off script for a moment. Ted, who was just up here, he's our fearless chairman of the board, but more importantly, today is his 29th birthday. And so let's give Ted a huge birthday round of applause. We are delighted to have you here tonight at the War Memorial at the Grosse Pointe War Memorial Association. On behalf of the board, the staff, and the entire community of the War Memorial, we say thank you, and we're delighted to host you here at this magnificent campus tonight. A number of people, as we were gathering before the program tonight, asked me, what is the War Memorial? Because it's been their first time here, and we're glad that you're here. The house behind me was built in 1910 and was the residence of the Alger family, having made their wealth in lumber, as well as founders of the Packard Motor Company. Interested in technology and safety, this campus even welcomed the Wright brothers, and the concrete walls of this house are up to 3 feet thick. In the late 40s, following the Great War of World War II, the War Memorial was originally given to the DIA, the Detroit Institute of Arts, and ultimately transformed into a separate nonprofit charity institution. Today, we host more than 200,000 individuals on this campus. There's a ballroom upstairs, which many of you had seen, TV studios, dance studios, art galleries, classrooms, gardens, which are right over here to your right, and our veterans gardens over there. And tonight, our very brand new Patriot Theater, which you were able to walk by, a space for arts, culture, and film. All of these things rest under the umbrella of our original command, which was to promote a spirit of patriotism while honoring those brave souls that served in World War II. Today, our mission statement, as Ted indicated, is to be a patriotic, cultural, and community leader. A patriotic, cultural, and community leader. However, all of the pomp and circumstance of this evening, this grandiose manner, all the lofty ideals we speak of and the pageantry of this place, pales in comparison to the leadership of each one of you in the first 3 rows. The leadership that you're exemplifying this evening. You are our leaders. You are our heroes. You are our protectors, our defenders, and the people who do the hard work for the rest of us. As a leader institution, we always strive to do what is right, to be at the fore, to be at the head of our vast community of stakeholders. But tonight, as you take your oath of service, you all are leaders. In a few minutes, you'll hear many inspirational words. You will receive our thanks. You will be congratulated. But that being said, when it gets hard, when you're lonely or scared, you need to remember that there are strangers in this space that are your supporters, institutions that are supporting you, that we are thinking of you and we are praying for you. This entire institution, this entire community, we are with you. So tonight kicks off our annual Memorial Week with the celebration of OCS, continuing tomorrow night with a documentary called Enlisted by a director named Keith Famey, who will be here in the Patriot Theater. Evening of Red, White, and Blue on Thursday evening, and on Monday, our Memorial Day service for the names on our hallowed walls behind me. And next week, I invite all of you to come back and to see our very first feature film called Sergeant Stubby. And it is a true American story of a young dog who saved his unit during World War I, and that will be in your Patriot Theater. All of that being said tonight, we are here to celebrate each of you. We are here to say thank you and tangibly let you know that we are with you. Thank you for your leadership, your bravery, your selfless service. We are grateful to each of you. God bless you.
Thank you, Charles. We're honored to have with us this evening Robert Price, the Targeted Outreach Director of the Michigan Affairs Agency, Veterans Affairs Agency, who is here somewhere. And I understood that State Representative Tanisha Yancey was to be here. She represents the 1st House District in the Michigan Legislature. As Charles mentioned, tonight is about patriots and patriotism. And so it's entirely appropriate that I should introduce you now to Chief Warrant Officer 4, Raymond Mabarak. The chief was born in Detroit in 1922. You can do the math. He joined the Army Air Corps as a cadet and was sworn in, get this, he was sworn in at center ice at the old Olympia Stadium during a Red Wings game in November 1942. In 1944, after basic training and aviation student training and training as part of the pre-OCS program, the chief was given an involuntary transfer to the 97th Division at Fort Leonard Wood as a machine gunner. The 97th Division was sent to the Ruhr Valley in Germany about the time of the Battle of the Bulge, and later to Bavaria and Czechoslovakia, and finally to the city of Pilsen in May 1945, near the end of the war. But no sooner had the 97th Division returned to the United States than it sent them to the Philippines, and then on to Japan for the occupation in September 1945. In 1947, Chief Mabarak joined the Michigan National Guard and was commissioned a warrant officer in August of 1957. In all, he served us for 38 years. 38 years. He held every rank from cadet to CW4, as I mentioned, the highest level of warrant officer outside of the senior command level. He served in the Army Air Corps, in the infantry, in the field artillery, and in the military police corps, before finally retiring in January of 1982. Remember, that oath was taken on the ice 40 years before that. Appearing tonight with Chief Mabarak this evening is Ed Lazar. Ed is a member, a longtime member of the War Memorial Board of Directors and chairs our Patriot Initiative Committee. Please welcome them to this lectern for a very special moment.
Thank you, Ted, for that kind introduction. While it might not seem very efficient to introduce somebody who's going to introduce somebody, I had to grab the opportunity to share some thoughts about my good friend, Ray, and about enlistment. While I did not have the honor of serving, I do have the honor of being a dad of an active duty combat medic. Our family is extremely familiar with exactly what you're experiencing right now, enlistees and family. Enlistment is a bittersweet experience for the moment. Though it's been nearly 10 years, I can remember it like it was yesterday. Hey, Dad, guess what I did? Now, son, we usually talk about things like this. So, son, why did you enlist? And what about us? What does this mean to our family? Well, okay, we're behind you and we're proud of you, but I don't know what else to say. So, I want you to listen very carefully to my friend, Chief Mabarak. Please hear him when he shares why he enlisted. Families, please hear his message for us left at home. And finally, for you who are about to raise your hands and take this oath of enlistment, take in his special wisdom. It's my honor and privilege to present Chief Warrant Officer Ray Mabarak.
Good evening. It's a real honor. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. This is really an honor to be speaking to you young people tonight. And my message is for you people in the front row who are taking the oath of enlistment. Because I sat in your shoes in November 1942. And for you people in the back, the parents of these young people should be very proud of these young people who are putting their life on the line to defend our country, which only 3%, or actually 1% of the population join the military. 1942, I was building an airplane at Briggs Aircraft, B-17. I decided I wanted to fly one. I had a 1E classification, which means I was deferred for the duration of the war. 1942, the United States was not doing too well. Combat, we didn't have a lot of army. We didn't have a lot of equipment. We were catching heck in the Pacific. And I decided I wanted to join and fly a B-17. So I went down to the enlistment office, recruiting office, and I said, I want to join. Oh, you can't join because you have a 1E classification. You're here for the duration. I said, well, I still want to join. He said, well, you have to go get a release from the employer. So I went to the employer, and he said, are you crazy? You can stay home, sleep in a bed, eat 3 meals a day. I said, I want to join because all my friends have either been drafted or joined. I want to join. So I went back down, and I thought I was all set. And he said, sorry, you only weigh 121 pounds, and you have to be 125 pounds. Well, that didn't stop me. So true story, I went and got 6 bananas and a quart of milk. I sat in front of the Federal Building at 1040 West 4th Street. I ate those 6 bananas, I drank the quart of milk, and I run in and I said, hurry up and weigh me. And I passed. And when I sat there at the Olympia Stadium on a Sunday night with 15,000 people, I sat in your shoes, just like you are now, looking to see what am I getting into? Well, you're joining the greatest fraternity in the world. Millions have passed before you. When you join the Army or Navy or Marine Corps, when I talk about Army, I also mean the Air Force and the Navy and the Coast Guard and the Marines, because we're all one. We're all brothers in arms. You're going to be experiencing something that you've never experienced before. You're going to meet a lot of people from all over the country. And some of them talk kind of funny, but they think you talk funny. You meet people from New York and California and Oklahoma. My best buddies were from Oklahoma and Montana. They become your friends for life. They'll share bread with you, they'll share a pup tent with you, they'll share coffee, they'll share whatever they have. One thing I want to tell you is do not ever judge the character of people by the color or the religion. The best people are the friends that you pick. I want to tell you a few things that you want to be careful of. Be careful of the people that you do pick as friends. I picked a friend one time, I thought he was a friend, he was in trouble all the time, I decided to get away from him. So you have to make sure that the people you pick are people similar to yourself. You can meet some drill instructors and officers who are going to train you. They may be tough at times, but they're doing a job because they want you to be trained so that you can fight and do the things you have to do. Also, some of you will be operating equipment worth $1 million. And you, as a soldier or Navy or whatever it is, you're operating that equipment. The taxpayers paid for it. It's for defending our country. Eat 3 meals a day. I know some of you forget about breakfast, but breakfast is one of the best meals for you. Eat 3 meals because you're going to burn up a lot of calories. The Army calorie count is like 4,000. That's a lot of calories. But when you're slugging around the field or something and carrying a backpack weighing 75 pounds and sprinting, you better have those calories in you. Stay in touch with your family. It's important because they're part of you. And it's good they're interested in what you're doing. So take a minute. I know that the new generation, you can do iPhones and Skype and everything else, but keep them informed. They're proud of you. They'll be telling their friends about you and what you're doing. And when you take your first picture, when you graduate from basic, that picture will be the best picture you ever take in your lifetime. You'll be proud of it. Do your best, whatever it is, whether it be stripping a rifle or running and don't be afraid to volunteer for doing things. Your commanders and your sergeants appreciate people who are willing to step forward. 2 things, alcohol and drugs. No. In my opinion. I've had friends of mine that used to get smashed all the time, but they weren't good. I didn't want them alongside of me. I didn't want them next to me in combat because I wanted people who were on the straight. So be careful of drugs and alcohol. When you walk straight. Be proud. Keep yourself clean. We had a guy one time from California that didn't like to take showers, and one Saturday afternoon, our friends all got together. We got a GI brush and gave him a bath. But those things that happen. A lot of times you're on display. Sometimes you're the only person on an airplane. You may be the only person in an airport, the only person at a train station. You're representing the United States military. So be proud of your uniform. And don't give up. You're in for an experience, but you can do it. You've already passed the first tough. Now I want to share something with you that I've never shared before. It's sort of personal. This is a letter that I wrote my mother in 1944. She died in 1999, and I found this in a drawer. I'm going to read it to you. It's not very long. January 28, 1944. Dear Mom, don't be surprised at the heading because this is sort of a special letter that marks exactly 1 year in the Army, so I thought I may write you a letter and let you know how I feel. It seems an awfully long time since I picked up my bag and left home, and little did I know and little did I realize how much I would miss everything I taken for granted. I really miss sitting down and having long talks with you when I came in at 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning from work, not. I used to work from 6 at night until 8 or 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning because we had to get that wing out. So coming home at 9 or 10, I had to get up at 5 to go back to work. I miss your swell cooking and everything that made home what it is. I guess a guy doesn't realize how lucky he is to have some swell parents who go out of their way to do things for him. After the war, you will find a lot of change in the boys that come home. They won't kick so much when the meals aren't ready. It's something they don't like. They won't mind waiting for a lot of things. I have to go now. We get up early. Your son, Raymond. The service meant a lot to me. And I'm going to read to you what a soldier is. Now, this applies for Army, Marine Corps, Navy, Air Force, or Coast Guard. I am an American soldier. I am a warrior and a member of a team. I serve the people of the United States and live the Army values. I will always place the mission first. I will never accept defeat. I will never quit. I will never leave a fallen comrade. About that, many Silver Stars and Medal of Honors are people who went back to bring our comrade out. I am disciplined, physically and mentally tough, trained and proficient in my warrior tasks and drills. I will always maintain my arms, my equipment, and myself. I am an expert. I'm a professional. I am ready to deploy, engage, and destroy the enemies of the United States in close combat. I'm a guardian of freedom and the American way of life. I'm an American soldier. I want to tell you something. Wearing this uniform has been a highlight of my life. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Now, Chief, I haven't been public speaking as long as you were in the uniform, but I know my craft, and I'm not sure I know how to follow that. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Our keynote speaker this evening is Lieutenant Colonel Charles J. Cogger. The colonel was born as a native of Bloomington, Minnesota. He enlisted in the military in 1991, starting in the United States Army Reserves and subsequently the Minnesota Army National Guard. He was commissioned as a field artillery officer through the University of Minnesota ROTC program in 1997 and received a bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering. Upon completing the field artillery officer basic course, Colonel Cogger was assigned to Korea, where he served as a fire direction officer and platoon leader. He was reassigned to the 82nd Airborne Division, where his duties included company fire support officer and battery fire direction officer. He later became fire control officer for the 82nd Airborne Division Artillery. After attending the Field Artillery Captain Career Course in the Combined Arms Staff Service School, Colonel Cogger was assigned to Germany as an operations officer. Later, he was deployed to Operation Iraqi Freedom and to Baghdad. Afterward, he attended the Moore School of Business at the University of South Carolina and earned his International Master's degree of Business Administration in Global Supply Chain and Operations Management. He subsequently served as a field artillery officer for the advisor for the Office of the Program Manager of the Saudi Arabian National Guard in Riyadh. He has held a number of other important assignments, and some of those are listed in your program if you care to look. Colonel Cogger has a long, long list of awards and decorations, including the Bronze Star Medal, the Meritorious Service Medal, Army Commendation Medal, Army Achievement Medal, Army Reserve Components Achievement Medal, the National Defense Service Medal, the Afghan Campaign Medal, the Iraqi Campaign Medal, the Global War on Terrorism Expeditionary Medal, the Global War on Terrorism Service Medal, the Korean Defense Service Medal, the Overseas Service Ribbon, and there are many more. The key here is to try and keep the introduction shorter than the speech. It is with great pride that I have the honor on behalf of the Grosse Pointe War Memorial Association to invite to this lectern Lieutenant Colonel Charles J. Cogger.
Mr. Everingham, thank you for those kind words. Not too often you get to have somebody like your stature introduce you, so thank you. And to Chief Mabarak, that's a tough act to follow. I'll try to keep my words brief because I don't know if I can beat that. So, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, friends, families, and good evening and welcome to this Enlistee Organization Recognition Ceremony, where we confirm the oath of future soldiers, sailors, Marines, and airmen of our nation's great military. This is truly an honor and awesome event where we get to have about 70 young Americans who will join the ranks of the 1% of the Americans who currently serve. This evening is about you, the enlistees, and recognizing your decision to serve. All of you standing before us today are about to join this elite group that will forever be part of the greatest institutional team in the history of the United States, the American military. In fact, we have many in our audience who are part of this great team as well. Individuals who have served, currently serving, or a family member who has supported a service member in their career. Please help me giving a round of applause to these fine individuals. To the enlistees today, some things to consider as you confirm your oath today. Ironically, a lot of it has the same message that Chief Warrant Officer Foreman Mabarak had said earlier today. But I want to reiterate. The military's greatest asset is its people, the finest men and women our nation has to offer. Number two, 50% of our youth admit they know little or nothing about the military. We need you to ensure they understand the quality of individuals who choose to serve. I ask you and my fellow military members and families to keep telling your military story so the rest of the young Americans can understand what service to country means. Number three, Americans have more confidence in the military than any other institution in the United States. Their level of trust in our military institution cannot ever be compromised. Live your lives with integrity and selfless service. Number four, the military produces quality citizens. Veterans are more likely to vote, volunteer, and be involved in support of their communities. I assure you, you are making the right decision in your future careers. In closing, to the individuals in front of me today, you're about to embark on a journey that you will never forget or regret. Enter your new profession with the desire to learn and with the motivation to accomplish the mission. Become a master of your skill trade, and finally execute your duties with integrity. No one else can take this from you but yourself. Congratulations on your decision to serve. It is truly an honor to stand before you, and thank you for attending this evening's event. Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name. I do solemnly swear or affirm. To support and defend. The Constitution of the United States. Against all enemies. Foreign and domestic. And I'll bear true faith. And allegiance to the same. And I'll obey the orders of the President. Of the United States. And the officers. Appointed over me. In accordance with the regulations. And uniform code. Of military justice. So help me God. Congratulations.
Congratulations to each of you and to all of you for undertaking the sacred duty to which you've committed yourself in our presence this evening. We're honored to be part of your lives. And now we invite each of you to come to the terrace to receive your enlistee recognition certificate from Colonel Cogger and Colonel Mammon. Will you please come forward from your seats, starting in the first row. Come in single file. When you get up here, hand your name card to Ed Lazar here, and proceed this way and receive your certificate. Thank you.
Antonio Childress, Navy. Austin Bedner, Navy. Congratulations, Austin. Thank you. Caitlin Thomas, Navy. Caitlin, take this with you, dear. Your card, please. Julianne Craig, Army. Julianne, take this. I'll just borrow that. Eva Martin, Navy. Sarah Sharpless, Navy. Sharples. Sorry, Navy, sorry. Jaden O'Neill, Army. Take that. Krishan Brown, Navy. Ethan Freeman, Navy. Santiago Sanchez, Army. Andrew Disasny, Army. Close enough? All right. Tyler Kolikovich, Army. Close? All right. Hunter Vermeesh, Army. Jose Navarro, Army. Catherine Willard, Marine Corps. Nicholas Radwick, Air Force. Christian Sharp, Marine Corps. Omar Santana, Army Reserve. Tyler Dunbar, Army. Dakota Leahy, Army. Colin Muter, Army. Close enough. Matthew Reschke, Army. Paul Kitka, Army. Kyle Ballard, Army. Nicholas Abdu, Army. Bryce Bienyek, Army. There you go. The only one I stuttered on. Lardell Bowman, Army. Chloe Churko, Army. Jacob Earhart, Army. Nathaniel Lacey, Army. Mohammed Dajai, Army. Justin Palmer, Army. Liam Smith, Army. Michael Stroven, Army. Jacob Manor, Army. Shaylin Daling, Army. William Boone, Army. David Dimashki, Army. Thanks, David. You pulled me out on that one. David Gonzalez, Army. Maxwell Bryson, Army. Take this with you, Maxwell. Robert Davis, Air Force. Nicholas Johnson, Army. Dexter Moreland, Army. Good job, Dexter. Justin Francis, Army. Ethan Bruning, Army. Jacob Smith, Army. Congratulations. Brella Fleming, Army Reserve. Brilla. Oh gosh, sorry, I just saw it. Jennifer Thompson, Army Reserve. Nicholas Kuchara, Army. Nicholas, congratulations. Janice Black, Army. You picked a good one, Janice. Good for you. Malik Crumpler, Army. Jonathan Strong, Navy. Camille Amerla, Navy. Alexis Alexis Grew, sorry, I would have thanked. Navy, Navy. Jacob Blair, Navy. Marissa Gibbons, Navy. Take that with you. Eric Westerman, Navy. Harris Folsom, Army. Jack Bingham, Army. Congratulations, Jack. Bailey Brooks, Army. Congratulations. One more. Ladies and gentlemen, one more round of applause for these brave young people.
Thank you. The three ladies who are standing here welcoming you and congratulating you and thanking you for your service, and please sit down, are members of our Patriot Initiative Committee, as is Mr. Lazar. They work hard on your behalf 24/7, year-round. And thank you very much for being here to help us tonight. Well, in the beginning, I said that this was a special time in this special place for some very special people. Of course, those people are you, the young women, young men who tonight have taken their enlistment oath to join one of our armed services. We thank each of you for your service, and we wish you the best of luck and Godspeed throughout your enlistment. But we honor as well the families you'll leave behind. They will be left with an empty bedroom. There will be an extra chair at the table. There'll be a precious picture that silently will stir warm memories, and to be replaced by the picture that the chief talked about that you're going to send home. Tonight we thank the parents and grandparents, the aunts and uncles, the brothers and sisters, all of the family members, all of the dear friends who are letting us borrow you to serve us. So we salute tonight the enlistees and their families as well. And we remind you, as Charles Burke said earlier, that the War Memorial, this patriotic, cultural, and community leader, always patriotism first. This institution stands with you wherever your service takes you, and however many weeks or months or years it may take. And remember, too, that we will be here for you to welcome you home. And now may God bless each of you and these United States of America. Thank you for joining us tonight. We'll call upon the color guard to retire the colors.